Hi, and welcome to the third episode of season 2 of the Jesus podcast. Thank you so much for the support for the first 2 episodes. We know and we are sure that you are liking, you are subscribing, you are leaving reviews, and you are dropping comments below. Right. So my name is Derek, and as usual, I'm here with
Franklina.
All right. So today we have a couple of exciting things to chat about. We are going to chat about feedback. We are going to chat about Spotify taking away their UX title, and we're going to do a product spotlight. Right. So we'll jump straight into the very first one, feedback. Right. I've got a hot take or a notion that people do not really like feedback as much as they think they do.
People go like, oh, give me your feedback. I think they only do it for props.
Yes.
Because they think they have to.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Oh,
yes.
give me feedback. Feedback comes and yeah, that's what happens.
You know, somebody has ghosted me on Twitter before.
Because
after I've given feedback. So what's the story? The story goes like the person posted a design on Twitter, and then I saw a lot of issues with it. So I just asked that.
You in the comments?
Yes, I just asked in the comment that if they would like feedback. They said, oh yeah, like they responded, oh yeah, this. I was like, okay. Then I sent the feedback to their DM.
Right.
Because like roadside.
Yeah, we don't shout by the
Then
roadside.
the person opened it. It's been almost 2 years.
Serious?
Yeah.
The person is active on the timeline though.
I don't know. Okay. I don't think
You can check right now and let us know. Maybe the person has blocked you.
But yeah, it was strange. It was, and that was not the first time.
Okay.
And that was not the first time that somebody has either ghosted or not responded to. When I say respond, I mean acted on the feedback. Right. So people also get annoyed for some reason.
When you give them feedback.
Yeah, and I don't think I'm even harsh with my feedback. Because I could be harsh, but I don't think I'm harsh. I think I'm usually a nice person when I'm giving feedback. And some people get annoyed, some people try to be defensive with feedback. And I'm like, yeah, you came to ask for it. So if you're going to fight it,
why did you come in the first place?
Why did you come for feedback in the first place? Right. And I believe heavily that people really do not want feedback. They see it as, or they want validation.
Right. I even see it as they think they just have to, it's another checklist.
That they take.
Yeah.
True.
So I ask for feedback. I can put it somewhere. I can say somewhere that I sought feedback and then
I put in my portfolio that I saw feedback and they came back and they want. But if you're not going to act on the feedback.
Props.
Yeah. Also, admittedly, there's not every feedback that you
have to act on.
Yes, there are some feedback that are not really, in quotes, good or that. But then you can't be a designer that you're always shunning feedback. Like you always say, "Oh, the feedback is not as good as what's like." You should be open to it, right? People get pissed when stakeholders come back with feedback.
Oh yeah, I would lie. I used to be at first. Oh, I am glad I'm able to talk about these things because it then shows I've grown. Like in being able to accept that this was how I was before. Yes, of course. At first I hated feedback from people that are supposed to give me feedback because it used to make me think if this person is giving me feedback, then it means I didn't do my work well. That's what I used to think. But then I later came to understand that people see things differently.
Yeah.
The way you were thinking whilst you were doing this, it's not the same way, or that's not how the person is thinking about it. So of course, they're going to see it differently. So what they are giving you is not even feedback. It's just how they are seeing it.
Yeah.
So I don't see it as feedback. I see it as this is how this person is seeing it. If I can throw more light on it, let me do that. If it still shows, if it still says they don't understand what I'm doing, then it means there's something wrong with the thing I have done and not me. Right. So for me right now, it's just this is how they are seeing it. They are letting me know how I see it. What I choose to do with that information It's entirely up to me, except that when I'm doing my 9 to 5, it doesn't fall up to me. I have to do it.
But why is it sometimes difficult to give and take feedback? Is it ego, fear, mistrust? Like, what's the reason why people don't like to take feedback or people don't like to give feedback?
To take feedback, right? I think it's, first of all, the kind of work we do. Designers are creatives. And
not
creativity,
every designer.
Most designers are creatives.
Thank you. Some.
And our work comes from a personal place.
Yeah.
Right? It comes from our thoughts. It comes from things that we have been exposed to. And it's like I've taken in something and I'm giving out that thing.
Yeah.
So if you come and tell me that this work I have done, I don't understand, or maybe you should have thought about it that way, then you are telling me that, no, that's too harsh. You are telling me that where the thing came from is probably not authentic or it's not real. So
I see what you mean.
It blows, it hurts my feelings. Now it becomes personal. Yeah. That is where we are all lacking, right? That's not how it's supposed to be. It's like you should see it as a painter's job. A painter came to paint and then you didn't like it. And you told him that you don't like the work, so we should change the color. A painter's job is you can learn it. Like somebody has to just teach you how to stroke, how to do the brush strokes, right? But for design, no one really teaches you how to design. It's your exposure, it's your practice, it's everything that you personally have to do. So if feedback comes that this thing, you didn't think through it well, you're going like, maybe you won't catch it at first, but then subconsciously, your mind is telling you, this person is saying, I didn't do my work well, or my skills aren't good enough. And that is where we have to, consciously reframe how we are thinking about feedback. So when it comes to taking feedback, I think it's only because we are so attached. We've tied our works to our personalities, our person, right? So if the feedback isn't coming the way we want it, then we are not good enough. So that's for taking feedback.
Yeah.
For giving feedback, it's a skill. No one is born with, I know how to give feedback. Like when I became a manager, I now had to find very creative ways of giving feedback. And one that has worked for me is, instead of, usually when I went to work in a hurry, I just say the thing. But if I want to think through it with you, I ask questions.
Okay.
So, you've done this. How about we do it like this? And I'm saying this because, and I explain myself. Then you also tell me that, I don't agree with you. Then I'll ask why. Then you tell me and I'll go like, okay, how about? So it's like I'm giving you feedback, but I'm thinking through with you.
Yeah, you're helping them improve.
Yeah, exactly. I'm helping them to think through what they've done. And at the end of the day, we don't even go with what I say, because then they make a point.
Yeah.
And I go like, fair point. Okay, let's run with this. Let's see how we feel about it. And then we see how we move from there. So giving feedback, right, it's an everyday skill. And you don't have to be a manager to do it. It's just that you would step into it when the role, when a higher role comes.
Yeah.
Because if you're a junior designer, no one really comes to you for feedback. I'm not saying they don't, but no one really comes to you for feedback. So yeah, giving feedback means you've been elevated in some way.
Yeah.
So then you would have to find nicer ways of giving feedback. Because like I said, creatives design from a personal space. So if you don't take care of that ego, somebody might take it really personal. What do you think?
I also think people, in giving feedback, they give the feedback without clarity.
Okay.
So that's why sometimes the creative or whoever is receiving the feedback might take it the wrong way. Because if the feedback giver probably had taken their time to go through whatever piece of work that they are giving the feedback on, the feedback might have been received better.
It's actually true.
Yeah.
Because there are situations where I've given feedback and I got what I gave.
Yeah.
In the sense that I gave the feedback. I wasn't too clear.
Yeah.
Maybe in the moment I didn't know I wasn't too clear, but then the work that came tells me that I could have been clearer.
In the feedback,
so when I'm getting angry at the fact that this work is coming the way it's coming, I ask myself, how did the person understand it?
Then
I try to replay. Yeah, I try to replay that conversation. I go like, okay, maybe if I had said, do this, do that, then maybe I would have gotten something a bit more, refined than what I
True.
So yeah, you really have to be clear.
That's
it's like garbage in, garbage out. Like it's like what you give to AI.
yes.
If you give garbage to AI will blow back garbage back to you. So it's the same with feedback. If you give shitty feedback, you get a shitty response.
That's very true. And usually we want people to be able to magically understand what we mean when we are giving some feedback. But you need to be clear. You need to be clear. And when people don't like come back with what you want them to, don't unload a lot of things on them.
Yeah.
Don't unload on them because you and your wife fought in the morning. You are coming to unload that on the poor designer. Right.
Designers are really suffered.
Oh yeah. Designers are really suffered. They really at the hands of PMs, CEOs, devs. Sorry to all you designers out there. There was a farmer, there was mango seller, you could sell PK at the roadside, but you chose design.
Well, that's the con of being a designer.
What are some things that as someone who's giving feedback I can concentrate on?
Giving feedback?
Yes.
I think you have to be aware of yourself.
Okay.
In the sense that, aware of yourself and the situation and what you want. So you want the work to come back with a red button.
Yeah.
Don't say, I want a button that I can see.
Because pop.
Exactly. Because when the blue button comes, you can see the blue button, right? It's just not red. So tell them that I want a red button in this size, in this format.
Yeah.
That if you give it that way, that's the same thing you get. But then the thing with that is, or the question that comes alongside that is, are you not spoon feeding the designer? Because then you are taking away their freedom to explore. So where do we draw that line? We'll come back to this question, but yes, in giving the feedback, you want to be aware of what you want, who you are speaking to, and then just communicate exactly that. I know I've been there. Like you can lose yourself and then just say what you want to say and then you should go get the work done.
Yeah.
But then also to the one receiving the feedback, ask questions if it's not clear.
Yeah.
What's the worst that could happen? I won't lash you. Like I won't lash you if you say, okay, what do you think the button color should be? I can say red, but then I'll give you the freedom to you explore. So that way, when you are coming with red, I've given you the freedom to come with blue, to come with black. So when you bring it, it's not outside of what I'm expecting. It's within scope, right? So that's one thing on my side. That's the only thing that comes to mind right now.
Another thing, focus on the work and not the person.
Okay.
So the person comes in for you, like the example you gave, you wanted a red button, but the person brought a blue button. Focus on the work. So you need it red. Not that you don't listen. Oh, this every day, the same thing. Last project, we did this one. Like, focus on the work.
Right.
Like give feedback on the work. Don't say things like, oh, you don't pay attention when I'm talking. Or your design same every time. Like just focus on the work at hand. Right? There's space for performance review and things that you can focus on the person's performance. But if you're giving feedback on a piece of work, try to focus on that particular work and not the person. Same thing with when you're giving feedback on something somebody has done. You need to focus on the behavior that has happened. Not the person.
Okay.
Not the person. Not that, oh, yeah, that's why your face is like that. Because you are not doing the button red, you are doing blue. No. Right. So if you want somebody to be comfortable enough to come to you for feedback, you need to also check yourself that you are giving feedback on the particular action or the particular work that is in front of you and not the person's behavior or the person's family tree or whatever that you see a piece of it and you're like, yeah, that is why your mother doesn't like you. Like,
if people say that,
I'm
maybe.
sure some people have said it. All right, so focus on the work and then give feedback on that particular work, and don't attack the person. Don't attack the person's previous work, or don't attack the person's life or their family or whatever. Be specific with the feedback that you're giving. You don't like the button, say it. You don't like this, say it. Sometimes I feel stakeholders are shy to admit they don't know something. And due to that, they unload a lot on whoever is presenting work to them, because they don't want to say, I don't understand this. They don't want to say, I don't understand what you've done. They would rather say, this is not how I like it.
It just doesn't feel right.
It just doesn't, exactly. It just doesn't feel
There's
right.
There's just something about it.
Sometimes you go and see, and because of that, nowadays, when stakeholders say that, I ask them questions like, what exactly, or what were you expecting, or how did you understand this, or what would make sense to you? And then a lot of the time, you find out that they don't have anything to say. They're just trying to say something. So
just go like, okay, when you figure out something, let me know. But for now, we'll run with this. Yeah.
They're trying to say something to say something. Because one thing people don't realize is asking for feedback doesn't mean there always has to be feedback. How do I explain
this? It's like you think you always have to give feedback.
Yes, you don't. You don't. If you see...
Just like the way you think you have to ask for feedback. It's the same thing as you don't always have to give feedback.
Yeah, you don't always have to. It's appreciated, but then if you don't see anything wrong with it, you don't come up with something. Because I've been in situations like that where the stakeholder, I could clearly see the person's talking just to talk. Because whatever they are saying is something that has been handled already and they didn't even bother looking at.
Right.
Or something that hasn't got to do with the project that you are working on. And you clearly see that this person is just talking.
They're offloading.
Yeah, they just want it to be recorded in the minutes that this person also said something.
Hey, this is personal.
Oh, yes, personal. Right. So, in as much as we want people to take feedback well, we need to also, as people in product design, whatever, also know how to give feedback. Because if you give very good feedback, people will not hesitate to come to you for feedback. People will not hesitate to come and show you that, hey, I did this, can you please check it out? Because they know that at the end of the day, they will learn something from you and not be put down by horrible feedback that they get from you. Right? And yeah, you shouldn't be feared. It's Ghanaian lecturers that are like that. They want you to fear them. But as a leader or as somebody who's in a position to give feedback, you should give the feedback in a way that you would want to receive it.
Yeah. The thing about giving feedback is it's a very conscious thing, or like an extremely conscious skill. You can easily give any sort of feedback and go your way because one, you are in more authority than the person you're giving the feedback to. So they at some level think they can't question you. They just go like, okay. Like they know they have to ask questions, but then just because you're superior than them,
they are scared.
They're scared to ask questions. So I feel like it falls on you, the giver, to create a very open environment for the person receiving it to ask for clarity. Let me circle back to the question I asked earlier. When you give the feedback and you are very specific, does that take it, like you end up, whether knowingly or unknowingly, you end up taking the freedom of exploration from the designer? How do we not blur that line? How do we make sure we're giving feedback, but then at the same time giving the designer the space, the freedom to explore? Or maybe at that time we don't have to explore. Just go and do my work for me. I'm going to do my review.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. If the person is your direct report, if you are the best manager, you would know the level at which the person is.
Okay.
You know their growth. You know how long they've been designing. You know their capacity. So now you knowing all that would know how to speak to the person. If the person is a very young designer, the person just started out, you know that it's your job to nurture them, to guide them a lot in their decision making. So in that, you can do a lot of questioning. Why did you go with this? What was the design decision here? Was there any data that backed this? Then you can give them a lot of that. So you can do that also for mid and senior designers, right? But then when people are more senior, you can give them more direct feedback. That hey, this thing needs to represent this, and this. Can you try that? And then you are not holding their hand. You are just showing them the direction that they can go in, and then they explore how to go in that direction.
Yeah.
Right. But if you tell a junior designer that, oh, I want this thing to evoke more emotion, more sad
What
emotions.
does that even mean?
What does that even mean?
True.
Right. But then you can give that feedback to someone who is more senior that I need this to be very playful. And they know what you mean. Or I'd hope they know what it means to make something more playful. Right. And they now, being actual seniors, might ask you, okay, have you tried something like this before in the past? What will playful mean to you? Right. So they can come back with questions. So they can get more direct feedback. But then people who are more junior, who need more handholding, can get more, not leading questions per se, but questions that open up their mind to like more alternatives. Like sometimes you see a design from a junior designer and it's horrible. But then you shouldn't just say this is horrible. Right? You should go let them explain to you their thought process. Let them explain to you why they went with this, why they went with this. They explain to you their design decisions, right? Was there a component? Did they see something somewhere? Then in all that conversations, they are now also learning. And then even though they know the design is horrible, you've guided them to learn something, and then now their design is better. Right. But with the senior, you can just punch them.
Hey, wow.
Please don't do that.
Okay, so there are people there who want feedback, right? Yeah. But they don't know who to go to for feedback. They don't work in a company. They don't work with people.
They are freelancers.
Or they are learning, or they just explore on Twitter or LinkedIn or wherever. How do they go about getting their feedback? Because, these days when you post your design, this is fire, this is great, oh, this is good.
Nothing.
So for people like that, right, I assume they want feedback. How do they go about it?
Charlie, it's hard. But if you can, either join a community or get a mentor.
These days, the communities, how do they work?
I mean, they have WhatsApp groups.
Do they work?
They are there. But a community shouldn't just be a large group of people who have a leader. A community can be another friend who is trying to learn design.
Okay.
Right. A community can be somebody you admire, and then that person can link you to some of their friends, or you can keep chatting the person and your chat becomes that community. So a community is not just multitude of people.
Okay.
A community can just be two people who have built that relationship and say, oh, I'm learning design. Maybe once in a while, I'll share this with you. Right. That can also be a community. Feedback can also be, you can get peer feedback.
Okay.
Feedback doesn't only come from top to bottom. You can get peer feedback. You can get feedback from people who are also as junior as you, because they might also have another way of solving the problem that you are trying to solve. Even though both of you are still junior, it's just a different perspective that you are looking for. Right. So now, in doing that, both of you are also learning how to, one person learning how to take feedback, another person learning how to give. Exactly. So now, in just that interaction, two things are being upskilled. Okay. Receiving the instruction, feedback, and then also giving the feedback. Because when you're starting, feedback hurts a lot.
Yes.
Feedback hurts, especially coming from somebody who's on the same level as you. Right? Because your ego, everybody has that, right? Good. So you're also learning how to take feedback. And then that person also unloading feedback on you, because that person
giving it to you. That person has this thing is not nice. You should have put
exactly. That person has no filter, because that person also is not skilled in that in the art of giving feedback. So when you're starting out, there's nobody at least. You mentioned that sometimes you share your work with AI, with ChatGPT, and then you ask it. You can start with that.
Yeah.
You can start with that. If you say there's nobody in your house, like there's nobody you can demo something to, there's no community you can join, you can start with AI. You can start with AI.
So you have no excuse for not getting feedback.
You have no excuse. If you are in isolation, you can still share it with some AI model somewhere, and it gives you feedback. Right? There's no excuse for saying, "Oh, me, I don't have anybody." No, you can also pray to God to give you
to give you feedback. Holy feedback. One last question. So usually, right, I like to keep my scope of receiving feedback very specific. What do I mean by that? If I give you my design, I go like, okay, I want you to focus on maybe the visual look. Don't focus on the experience. Just focus on how it looks. I'm designing for so and so and so and so. So in that, I'm giving you context and I'm giving you what to focus on. Who do you think this message goes to? As in, this is how sometimes you can give feedback. So which kinds of people can adapt this?
Or both sides. Because let's take from the angle of the one receiving the feedback.
Okay.
It helps you narrow the vision of the one who is giving you the feedback.
Okay.
I did that recently with our chief security officer. So I was redesigning our security page, and then I did a first iteration with copy. So I sent him a DM and I asked him to just give me feedback on the copy.
Mm-hmm. So that way he's not going to look at
He's not going to look at anything visual or anything button or whatever. I told him to just give me feedback on the copy. So now he's going to just look at the copy because that's what I know is ready to be looked at.
Okay.
Right. Then he came back and made comments in the Figma about the copy. And now I took his feedback and then worked on a second iteration that had the visual stuff in. Then I went back to him and told, okay, now the copy is fine based on your feedback. Now check exactly. So now I've reduced the scope in such a way that he focused on what was important at that time. That was the copy. Imagine he just went, I just asked him,
give me feedback.
Because I knew deep down that the page was not ready visually, sort of. The look was not okay. It was still in wireframe and all. Imagine he went to give feedback on how it looked.
You'd have wasted time.
I'd have wasted his time. He would have wasted his own time and all that. So being specific with the feedback is very important. It helps them say a lot about just one subject, which is better than saying
bits and pieces of everything.
And then you don't really reach a proper thing, a proper conclusion. And the one who is giving the feedback to, you can ask, what do you want the feedback on?
Very good, yeah.
If I bring you a piece of work and then I ask, I want feedback on this, and just start from bottom. But ask the question, okay, where do you need feedback? I need feedback on the hero section. Okay, what about the hero section? Oh, the copy. I've tried a couple of layouts and I think
are we taking notes? Because I'm taking notes.
I've tried a couple of layouts and then I think this works best. But these are the other layouts, so you can check them and give me feedback on this layout. You've made it very specific. So then the person goes into your work and then the person knows that they know what they're looking at. They know what you've tried. They know you've tried 5 iterations and these are the 5 iterations. So then they go into all that knowledge. If you don't do that and so I need this thing on my hero section, what if the feedback they give you is something you've already done in another iteration? Then you've wasted their time. Right. So you go feedback, you go for feedback, you need to be specific. You need to narrow the scope to where exactly you need feedback. Don't just go and say, I need feedback. No, you need feedback on what? Typography, color usage, spacing, the grid, the layout, the copy. What do you need feedback on? So now that helps the person also give you feedback that will be beneficial to you.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. Otherwise, what are we doing?
You are just freestyling on each other.
And that will not help anybody. So you need feedback here on what? Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
The last question, I keep on saying last questions, but at what point do we have, or is there a point that we have to reach before we ask for feedback? Or it's, I don't know. So yeah, let me just leave it at that.
Yeah, it depends. A point in a design, you mean? You see, now I'm asking you for where you need feedback. Yeah. So you are practicing live.
Good question. So yes, now I get to think, and then helps you even give more valuable feedback. Okay. Maybe I should come back. I'll come back with
But I get what you mean, though. I get what you mean. Sometimes when I'm working, when I'm designing, I try to bring in stakeholders early so that they can give me feedback before I move on.
Okay.
So if the project is big, and let's assume the project has 5 different phases, I can bring in the stakeholders in the first phase, and then they check what we've done and make sure we are going on the right direction. Then they give feedback. So now when I'm moving to the next stage, I know that they've given feedback about X, Y, and Z previously. So now I can use some of that feedback to work on this. Not that I wait till everything is done. Then I go and submit all the 5.
My goodness.
And now they're like,
I can imagine the feedback that will come out
you'll
of
be
that.
Pissed.
Yeah.
You'll be pissed. Imagine spending weeks on the project and I come and you are giving feedback on the first thing I started with. Right. So now, then I don't wait till the end. Don't wait till the end. Don't work in a silo. Don't wait till the end before you submit for feedback. As early as possible. Even once you get the idea, before you even open Figma, do a Google Doc, a short description of what you want to do, and then run it by somebody. Right. Don't wait till the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another last question.
Yeah.
So for people we go to for feedback, right? Assuming we are design, you mentioned something about you went to your chief security officer.
Yeah.
He's not a regular stakeholder. So you went to him because the work is in his domain.
Yes.
So I can say that I have to take feedback or go to someone with expertise or who is directly affected by that deliverable for the feedback. So I can't go to my design manager. Oh no, I can't go to say support or maybe HR for this security thing. Or I can't even go directly to my design manager. I have to at least get some sort of feedback from the people it's directly affecting. Yeah. Do I need permission from my manager to go do that?
If you're working in a correct company, no.
What do you mean by correct company?
I mean, there are some companies that their heads are not accessible.
Okay.
So that's not a correct company.
Okay.
If you're building a product, everybody needs to be hands-on. Right. Okay. So that's what the term stakeholder means. The person who holds stake in what you are doing. The person
I think we've limited stakeholder to the C-suite people.
Yes. But customer support is the stakeholder.
Yeah.
I was in an admin dashboard. I had a project in the admin dashboard. I had calls with customer support. They are also stakeholders. Yeah. I was designing a portal for the devs. The devs are stakeholders, even though the devs are not the C-suite or in leadership, but they are stakeholders. Stakeholders are not bosses.
They are people who have a stake.
Interest.
Yeah.
Yeah. A stakeholder is somebody who the project is going to affect. That's a stakeholder. So a stakeholder is not a boss. Your stakeholder can be somebody who is below you in the organizational chart. Right. So the stakeholder is not necessarily people who are high up. So that's what sometimes we have in our mind. Yeah. If somebody that's below you comes to give you feedback, like you can when you're stakeholder. But then the thing is going to affect that person, and that person has an interest in the project that you are doing.
So what will be your final giveaway to people giving feedback and people receiving feedback?
Just be good people. Right. If you're a good person, you would be a considerate person.
Okay.
Considerate in the sense that before you open your mouth to give somebody feedback, you need to think about how the person is going to receive it. Right. Think about the person's level in design. Think about the person's, even their mood. Yeah. Even their mood. If the person is sick, that's also going to affect the work they do. Okay. Right. And also you two that are going to look for feedback. Make sure that you appreciate their feedback. Sometimes feedback is harsh. Right. But
whether you like it or not.
Whether you like it or not. Feedback is always not going to come how you want it. Then that's not feedback. That's hype. Right. So always strive to give good feedback. Always strive to note the feedback you receive and then go back home and then think about them and see which one to implement.
Moving on to our next segment on the episode. A few months back, Spotify came out. Okay, not Spotify, but I don't know the exact title of that person. But then that person came out on Twitter to say that they have removed the design title in their organization, in their work structure. Right? What does that mean? Like, what does that mean?
I don't know. I think they are doing it for public display.
That's hard.
It doesn't really mean anything.
So before you go, let me read it. I found the post.
Yeah.
So this is Carl Rivera, right? And he says, we just dropped UX as a title at Shopify. Same for content design. If you design, you're a designer. If you write, you are a writer. Simpler, better. Then he goes on to comment and say, I want to get away from terms that make our craft more science than art. AI enables anyone to make things usable. Our job is to make them unforgettable. Then the last comment, we hire for taste, for aesthetics, for a point of view. It's the difference between utility and affinity. Anyone can generate a good baseline. Designers reach for the ceiling. So this is what Carl Rivera is saying.
He didn't really say anything.
He's saying that they've dropped UX as a title.
For what though? Because these things are not just there for show.
Okay.
These things are there to guide the organization. They are there to guide.
They don't need guidance right now.
They are there to guide salary structure. They are there to guide growth within the company. They are there to guide the organizational layouts. They are there to guide onboarding. Like, they are not just there for they being there.
But then he says it's right. All what you've mentioned, I can argue that they are in line with the organization and really has nothing to do with the work and design.
True. And then my question to you also is, how does this impact the work? Because what I'm arguing is this destabilizes a lot of things.
Okay.
So now, if I'm coming to the company,
you're coming there as a designer.
Yeah. How do I negotiate my salary? How does Shopify decide which team makes its salary if everybody is just the same title? Well, the title goes a long way. The title is not just for yourself or your self-esteem and the rest. It also decides, like I mentioned, salary. It decides teams. It decides strength, growth. Because if I've been at the company for 20 years and my title is just designer, how do I explain the growth to somebody who's outside the company? Because remember, we talked about title earlier.
Yeah.
And then even in as much as it's a little bit of a vanity thing, it's still something that you use to show your growth in external cases. If after 20 years, you can show somebody that you move from intern to design manager. That's growth.
Are you saying that right now titles are like, I can use them to explain my growth to someone?
That's what the ecosystem likes. In as much as it doesn't hold a lot of weight.
I think Shopify is trying to be on their own. Like, they are trying not to let the ecosystem dictate their operations.
Shopify has not done anything big enough to the design community to think they can influence it in such a way. No, I don't think so. I think this is just for show. I think there's just somebody who just slept and woke up and then felt like, I need to make a change in a design, that I'm a designer. Because if they came out to say everybody on the Shopify design team is a generalist, I would apologize for the misunderstanding and accept whatever they're saying.
Okay.
But I don't think it's so. If you're a generalist, you can argue for the designer title.
But no, so I think it still falls in line with being a journalist, because now they are not boxing you in a UX space. Because if I come out if I tell you I'm a designer, I'm sure your first question will be, okay, what designer are you? But then in another sense, if I come out and tell you I'm a designer, it gives you a good sense of, maybe I can do graphic design, maybe I can do illustration, maybe I can do motion design, maybe I can do any other thing that has got to do with design. So maybe that is what they are trying to do.
How are they going to explain career path now?
For that, I can't say because I don't
you see the amount of ambiguity it brings.
Maybe they have figured it out. Maybe they have thought through. We don't know some of the questions they've asked for feedback, right? They don't know. We don't know. So
how is it going to affect hiring?
So just we are hiring a designer. Hiring a designer who has experience in
what? Because right now, content designers are just designers too. Or product designers are just designers. UX designers are just designers. Brand designers are just designers. So now I'm hiring for a designer.
So it means it's okay. It could mean that they are hiring for somebody who does all of these things.
You see how much ambiguity they are bringing into their own processes.
And maybe they figured it out. Who knows? Maybe this is a stepping stone. Maybe they'll figure it out as they go.
Another thing I feel, right, is they are now...
Right now we are feeling.
Yeah, I mean, we are not in Shopify. Okay. I mean, if they come and call, why not? I can argue as a team member.
Okay.
But right now, I'm not a team member. Right. So another thing I feel is we are devaluing design specialization from this. Right, because we all started design not wanting to do everything in design, I believe. Mm-hmm. Design is very broad. And I don't think everybody started with a niche and decided to narrow down on a niche and then build in that niche and then expand to other things once in a while. But I feel with this is devaluing specialization such that we don't care about people who are experts in certain fields. We just want to lump everybody up in a particular title called design. And we expect you to come to work and then feel no ambiguity. What makes you different from somebody who has specialized in brand design and is an expert in it? What makes you different from somebody who has specialized in content design and that person's an expert in it? If now everybody is just a designer.
But I want to give them grace and go like they know what they're doing. They've figured it out. Like that's the extent to which I want to grant this grace. Because I get where you're coming from. That right now everything is the same. Everyone is on the same.
Yeah.
It feels like everyone's on the same. Maybe they figured it out, and maybe there's designer 1, designer 2.
That goes against this.
Is this an example?
Designer A, designer B.
Well, it does. And the thing is, he doesn't have to come and explain himself. He just woke up, like he said, and decided to come put this out there. That
another thing I think is they think this is going to be a trend.
So other companies will join them.
I don't think other companies will go. Because there are a lot of questions you'd have to answer with this. Like some of the questions I've put forward, there's a lot of questions you have to ask. You have to answer in order to make this a proper... Because teams like Google, they have UX designers, product designers, visual designers, and all of them do different things. Right. So... Yeah, I think it's not going to be a trend. I don't think any company would follow this anytime soon. I might be wrong. I stand...
Well, this was posted in June and we're in July.
And I've not heard anybody...
So maybe...
I don't think anybody is going to do that. Let me even go to their career page and see whether...
Let me see. I'm following
Shopify. So right now, sorry, you can't see what we are doing, but we are currently going to the...
Shopify's career
page.
To see how they are hiring designers.
Yes. What they are using. Okay,
so they have... You'd be surprised. So they're just designers.
If you open this thing, they have what we are hiring for.
I saw product designers but when you go there, it brings you to...
Product design management, writing, brand design, motion design, industrial design. So now...
Okay, so I click on the apply now, right? And it takes me to a page where I see just designers.
So now how do I know?
So they said, first things first, we want to ensure you're the type of person who will thrive here so we can move you quickly through our hiring process. Before completing the job application, please check all the statements that apply to you below.
You see how they are
now
hiring?
It gets a bit confusing.
Have you seen? So...
But I can check everything,
It's an ambiguous place that they are trying to put themselves in, right? So now, how would you separate which designer is from which designer? some people like to be very, I don't know if the word is idealist. No, I don't think idealistic is the word, but they want to be
So they put
philosophers.
everything together. I see.
They want to be philosophers so bad.
Philosophical in their thinking, in their
it's crazy.
writings. Well,
do you think, for those listening, do you think this is a good move from them? Do you think it's going to cause a lot of ambiguity? Do you think you would want to just be called designer? Let us know in the comments.
For our product spotlights on today's episode, we are spotlighting Tech Events Ghana. This was a quick side project for Jeffrey. Shout out to Jeffrey. He spun this out with AI. I don't know which of them. And it's now live. You all should try building something out with AI, right? It's easy, it's fun. So yeah, he did Tech Events Ghana. It's pretty much a space that highlights or spotlights all the events, tech events that are happening in Accra, in Ghana, I'm sure very soon in the world, right? So right now he has about 11 events. There are tech events, anything that has got to do with tech, meetups, connect, mixes, all of that. I'm looking at a few of them now. It's a work in progress. So you just go there and you can, see the events there. If you have any feedback, comments, suggestions, just hit JDG Hinson on Twitter and then share your feedback with him. Right. So you can go on there, see all the events, mark them. You can't add them to your calendars right now, but then you'd see them. You can take a note on when they are happening and then you find yourself there. So shout out to Jeffrey for making this. I found a couple of events that I want to go myself. I'll see you there if you happen to be there. On that note, we are at the end of today's episode. We hope we were able to share very valuable information. At least you are leaving this episode with a thing or two in your pocket about feedback, about Shopify's decision to drop the title UX, right? And then you trying Tech Events Ghana. Leave all your comments, all your suggestions, all your feedback in our comment section. If you have any thoughts, you can leave them there as well. You can follow Derek or myself and then share with us any feedback that you don't want out there. See you on our next episode.